ketibaan ke dalam Dewan Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi, Perdana Menteri Malaysia.
Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi, Prime Minister of Malaysia. Let's all rise.
Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi, the Honourable Prime Minister of Malaysia.
Dr. Cheong Chairman of OCBC Limited.
Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Nasruddin bin Bahari, Chairman of OCBC Bank Malaysia Berhad.
Yang berbahagia Dato Muhammad Razif Abdul Kadir, Assistant Governor of Bank Negara Malaysia, representing the Governor.
Your Excellency Ashok Kumar Mirpuri, High Commissioner of Singapore.
Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Roslin bin Haji Hassan, Datuk Bandar Kuala Lumpur, the Mayor of Kuala Lumpur.
Mr. David Connor, Chief Executive Officer, OCBC Limited.
Mr. Lee Seng Wee, Director, OCBC Limited.
Yang berbahagia Dato Albert Yeoh, Director and Chief Executive Officer, OCBC Bank Malaysia Berhad.
Tan Sri, Dato.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
Selamat petang dan salam hormat. A very good evening and welcome to the grand opening of Menara OCBC. And today is a special day for not just those from OCBC Bank team in Malaysia and Singapore, but also for those who have been associated with the bank in one way or another for many, many years.
We're delighted that all of you have been able to join us here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second part of our ceremony in opening for the grand opening of Menara OCBC. So without further ado, allow me the pleasure now to cordially invite the Chairman of OCBC Bank Malaysia Berhad, Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Dato Nasruddin bin Bahari, to deliver his welcome address. Dipersilakan, Yang berbahagia Tan Sri.
Yang amat berhormat Datuk Sri Abdullah Ahmad Badawi, Perdana Menteri Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Razif bin Abdul Kadir, Wakil Governor Bank Negara. Dr. Cheong, Group Chairman OCBC Bank Limited. Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Roslin bin Haji Hassan, Datuk Bandar Kuala Lumpur. His Excellency Ashok Kumar Mirpuri, Singapore High Commissioner. Mr. David Connor, Group CEO, OCBC Bank Limited. Mr. Lee Seng Wee, the former Group Chairman and CEO of OCBC Bank Limited and current Director. Yang berbahagia Dato Albert Yeoh, CEO OCBC Bank Malaysia. Fellow members of the Board of Directors of OCBC Malaysia and Singapore. Tan Sri, Dato, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, and a very good evening to all our guests. It is indeed a rare honor and a privilege for me to welcome all of you to this momentous occasion, the grand opening of Menara OCBC by Yang Amat Berhormat the Prime Minister. In spite of his extremely heavy schedule, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri has been so gracious to take time to be with us today after his Friday prayers, which is in itself noteworthy. It is noteworthy that Yang Amat Berhormat the Prime Minister chooses today, that is a Friday, to honor us with his presence for this special occasion. As you all know, to all Muslims, Friday is a special day with which to invoke Allah's blessings and to ask for divine guidance and assistance. Looking at the challenges ahead with deregulation and liberalization in view and the might of foreign competitors in its wake, we may well need the divine helping hand. This is perhaps indirectly a subtle reminder for Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri for us not to forget the unseen hand, for which we would like to thank Yang Amat Berhormat for his kind thoughts. We, the board directors of OCBC Malaysia and OCBC Singapore, together with the Lee family, who are OCBC's majority shareholders, would like to extend to you, Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri, a very warm welcome and special thanks for consenting to officially declare open Menara OCBC. To all our other valued guests, we also like to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. We deeply appreciate your presence, your faith and interest in OCBC. Some of you, I note, are also direct descendants of perhaps 3 generations of OCBC customers. We are indeed proud to see you today, fellow bankers, captains of industry, business associates, leaders in public and private sector, to share with us the excitement of a momentous occasion. My utmost thanks to our friends and associates for your ongoing partnership with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme chosen to help communicate the spirit of our grand opening celebration today is across communities, which derives from our purpose statement, and I quote, we help individuals and business across communities achieve their aspirations by providing innovative financial services that meet their needs. Within this statement is a summation of our ongoing quest to serve and remain relevant to all the people in all the ethnic groups who form the communities of which we are part, whether in West Malaysia, Sabah or Sarawak. These communities comprise the young and the old, the individual and the corporation, the businessman and the housewife, the Bhimiputras and non-Bhimiputras, and those living in urban settings and village areas. I'm happy to reiterate, OCBC Bank is a bank for the entire community. Way back in 1932, when OCBC Bank was established, it set out to serve what is rightly considered to be its community. At this time, this consisted mainly of individuals and businesses striving to cope with the rigors of everyday life, following the challenges laid upon them by the Great Depression. These were the locals who could not access the European banks, which were quite discriminatory to the Asian ways of conducting business. The founders of OCBC took the initiative to provide its needy customers with financial solutions that subsequently quelled the effects of the crisis. So, under the able leadership of luminaries such as Dato Lee Kong Chian, Tan Sri Tan Chi Tuan, and Mr. Lee Chun Siong, OCBC flourished in Malaysia and Singapore, meeting the needs of its customers in every possible way. On reflection, ladies and gentlemen, OCBC wasn't a foreign bank then, as it is today. It was indeed a local bank to serve the local people. Under British rule, Singapore and Malaya was just one political entity. Now, by a twist of history, in 1965, OCBC became an instant foreign bank. And thanks to prudent management, the ever-constant loyalty of our customers, and the teamwork spirit of our staff, OCBC thrived and progressed from strength to this day. Indeed, when I became chairman of the bank in late 1997, the congratulations that I received were very simple. It says, Tan Sri, you are very lucky. You have nothing to worry. OCBC Bank is as solid as a rock. True enough, we continued to make relatively quite impressive profits, even during the Asian financial crisis, although not as much as the preceding years. In fact, The true test of our strength then was that during the crucial period, our depositors continued to place their faith in our bank. And what is more, we also gained new depositors who brought their funds to our doorsteps. Now, several years down the road since then, OCBC Malaysia has undergone a structural transformation to face squarely to the challenges of immediate and future competition and the need to provide our more discerning customers with a wider range of products and services at affordable prices, while we learn to manage the risks associated with the new business. With the assistance of our parent bank in Singapore, we have brought in new faces at senior levels of management who infused staff with new ideas and skills, introduced new technologies, processes, and procedures in every division and department, along with the learning sessions to motivate staff and upgrade individual productivity. On this note, I would like to thank Mr. David Connor, our Group CEO, for his untiring efforts to mobilize the support of entire staff to the innovations and changes that are being introduced through his regular roadshows, while the Group Chairman, Dr. Cheong also played his part by engaging himself in friendly policy and strategic discussions over scheduled luncheon meetings with our independent directors here for more in-depth views, reviews, and inputs. Dr. Cheong's contributions are most helpful in securing the full backing of management support from the parent bank in the critical areas of new business development. Ladies and gentlemen, while we now focus intensely on consumers' business and small and medium enterprise financing, we also have on hand our Islamic Banking Financing Division, which has been 10 years in existence in OCBC Bank. Our Islamic banking has grown vigorously. I'm happy to report that we have surpassed the 100,000 customer accounts position and remain among the most active foreign banks in promoting Islamic banking products and services. We have already disbursed a total 1 billion ringgit in financing Islamic banking projects. We will continue to support Bank Negara's financial sector master plan for the development of Islamic banking that envisioned that by year 2010, Islamic banking and takaful transactions would constitute 20% of the market share of the total banking and insurance industry business. Ladies and gentlemen, as OCBC proceeds into the competitive future of deregulation and liberalization, we are having a hard look at our long-held image of being prudent and conservative, the cornerstones of being solid as a rock. The technology innovations are taking place within the bank to keep us abreast of our competitors, and the spirit to forge ahead to explore new areas of opportunity to serve our customers, such as the services sector and the agriculture and agro-based industries, are indeed gradually shedding our image of being conservative. However, as we begin to be seen to be more dynamic over time, we will continue to retain our other image of being prudent, which is a quality that has been embedded in our culture. Menara OCBC stands today as the hallmark of our prudence and stability over the past 73 years of OCBC's existence. It will also stand as the vanguard of our dynamic thrust into the future, a future that for all the changes that will take place to serve a more discerning and discriminating society will at the same time see OCBC continue to establish ourselves as a bank that does indeed serve people across communities. Moving forward, while with our resources and our resourcefulness, which stems from a deeply felt sense of purpose and a broadly shared dream, we will be able to enhance our position as partners in development with the government working together to upgrade broadly the livelihood of Malaysians, particularly in the priority sectors of the economy. The Governor of Bank Negara, Tan Sri Dr. Zati Akhtar Aziz, has rightly pointed that foreign banks have benefited and flourished in the stable economic environment and in the significant economic growth Malaysia has achieved. We are ever grateful for this and wish to reciprocate by heeding the Governor's call and become more integrated with the domestic economy. In doing so, I'm happy to say that we have the full support of the Lee family, our majority shareholder, who together with Lee Rubber are reinvesting in many sectors of the economy in Malaysia. In conclusion, once again, we'd like to record our deep appreciation to Yang Amat Berhormat the Prime Minister for his interest in the future sustainability of our bank and for what the banking industry could contribute to the economic and social development of Malaysia. Thank you. Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat.
Thank you very much. The Chairman of OCBC Bank Malaysia Berhad, Yang Berbahagia Tan Sri Dato Nasruddin bin Bahari, for the welcome address.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now our privilege to invite the Chairman of OCBC Limited, Dr. Cheong Chung Kong, to address us. Dr. Cheong.
Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi, Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Muhammad Razif Abdul Kadir, Assistant Governor, Bank Negara Malaysia, representing the Governor of Bank Negara Malaysia, His Excellency Ashok Kumar Mirpuri, High Commissioner of Singapore, Datuk Haji Ruslim bin Haji Hassan, Datuk Bandar Kuala Lumpur, Tan Sri, Datuk, ladies and gentlemen. May I welcome you to the opening of Menara OCBC. May I also express my deep appreciation and our now thanks to the Prime Minister for honoring us with his presence. Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. Menara OCBC is brand new, as you can see. But OCBC in Malaysia is anything but. And as Tan Sri Nasruddin reminded you just now, we've been around in Malaysia since 1932. And this is one of those instances when being old is an occasion for celebration. I'm living testimony to that. And I'm not ashamed to remembering OCBC in Malaysia in the 50s, when I was a student attending school at the Methodist Boys' School on that hill not far from here. OCBC was a hallowed institution then, and it still is, of course. I will admit to remembering Kuala Lumpur even in the 40s, yes, the 40s, when the Look-You building on what was then called Market Street was the tallest building in town, all of 7 stories. And I remember riding the elevator up and down between the ground and the 7th floors, marveling at the latest technology in town. Little did I realize then that one day I would be participating in the opening of Menara OCBC. Menara OCBC is by no means the tallest building in the neighborhood, but it's a proud edifice nevertheless, a sturdy reminder of OCBC's long association with this country. OCBC is situated at the confluence of 2 rivers, and it is where 2 LRT lines meet. Now, I don't care what the experts say about that, but to me, that is very good feng shui. I'd like to think that this is where good things come together, and this is where the financial needs of the community are met. As banker to the community, as Tan Sri Nasruddin told you, we help individuals and businesses achieve their aspirations by providing them with the right products and services. Not just any product and service, but the right one. And that commitment holds true in all the countries we operate in. Our name, Overseas Chinese Banking Corporation, is an indication of our Chinese roots, but our services extend far beyond that particular community. We have been providing banking services to people of this country for 7 decades, happily and happily, profitably. Now, that is what good feng shui does for you. But it's more than just feng shui. It's also hard work, and very, very important, it's integrity and the will to serve. Malaysia currently accounts for around 30% of the pre-tax profit of the OCBC group. Needless to say, while we will continue to seek opportunities for growth and investment further afield, particularly in Indonesia and China, Malaysia will always be a vital part of all our future plans. If we consider Malaysia and Singapore as one, not, I hasten to add, politically, but in the sense of being one market, then the OCBC Group is the biggest provider of financial services. And our position as the biggest provider of financial services in the combined Singapore-Malaysia market confers distinct advantages which we use fully for the benefit of our customers and, of course, our shareholders. In 2004, our home loans in Malaysia grew 20% over a year ago, and our bank assurance sales improved by an even more impressive 107%. The number of OCBC credit cards issued in Malaysia increased 90%. Now, albeit from a small base, but it goes to show that this solid rock that is OCBC is moving and going places. As for the business community, in line with Bank Negara Malaysia's policies, we continue to meet the needs of small and medium enterprises, SMEs. The Governor, Tan Sri Dr. Zeti Aziz, has recently called for greater support to be given to micro-enterprises and agriculture and agro-based industries. I am pleased to say that OCBC has introduced financing programs to aid these businesses. In particular, we maintain a significant market share of the agriculture sector. We also launched business banking commercial service desks to provide trade financing and technology to SMEs. And we've put in place a series of educational programs to help SMEs keep abreast of banking and finance. I'm also pleased to report good progress in Islamic banking, in tandem with the Governor's move to strengthen Islamic banking as an integral part of the Malaysian financial system. With over 1 billion ringgit in deposits and about the same amount in financing disbursed, we're one of the top 2 foreign banks engaged in Islamic banking. I wish to keep my remarks brief, ladies and gentlemen, but they would not be complete if I did not mention the significant investments we are making in Malaysia. Last December, we announced we were investing over 75 million ringgit in establishing a Malaysian hub for back-office processing in selected activities. And Mr. Prime Minister, thanks to your government's Multimedia Development Corporation's support and very prompt response to our requests, that Malaysian hub in Cyberjaya is already operating. And is already providing processes, servicing in certain operational areas, such as call centers, data centers, trade services, account services, credit processing, and IT applications development. This is proof, if proof is needed, of our bank's determination to strengthen our position and to grow in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I thank you for being here, and a special thanks to the Prime Minister. Menara OCBC is a building, and a building is a building is a building. But Menara OCBC is more than just a building. It is a proud symbol of the long relationship that OCBC has with this country, and it's a symbol of our resolve to remain a very active participant in the growth and prosperity of this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cheong Chung Kong, Chairman of OCBC Limited.
Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me the greatest of honors and pleasure to cordially invite our guest of honor, Yang Amat Berhormat, Dato Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi, the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia, to address us. Dipersilakan dengan segala hormatnya, Yang Amat Berhormat, Dato Sri Perdana Menteri.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Cheong Chun Kong, Chairman of OCBC Singapore. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Nasruddin Bahari, Chairman OCBC Bank Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Dato Rosli Hassan, Datuk Bandar Kuala Lumpur. His Excellency Mr. Ashok Kumar, High Commissioner of Singapore to Malaysia. Yang berbahagia Datuk Muhammad Razif Abdul Kadir, Assistant Governor Bank Negara. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. When I arrived just now at 3:30, I was met by a group of people, and when I saw Mr. Lee, I said, "Welcome home." And His Excellency Mr. Ashok Kumar reminded me, we share him. So I'm very happy really to see the Lee family remaining committed to Malaysia, where it started its empire, building industries, covering various activities, economic activities in Malaysia. And certainly, in many ways, the Lee family had contributed much to the progress, economic progress in Malaysia, beginning with the rubber plantations. Lee Rubber is a family well known, or is an industry well known in Malaysia. Maybe rubber was the best feng shui for you. You have done so well. So let me, ladies and gentlemen, first thank the management and staff of OCBC for inviting me to launch the group's new Malaysian headquarters and main branch, the Menara OCBC. I am pleased to note that Singapore's longest established local bank, one which traces its presence as far back as 1932, continues to view the Malaysian market as an important place to conduct business. I understand that in January this year, OCBC had invested 75 million ringgit to establish its centralized processing hub for selected back-office operations in Singapore and Malaysia at Cyberjaya, which I'm told has provided is going to provide 500 new jobs. Indeed, the opening of Menara OCBC today demonstrates the group's commitment to further enhancing its Malaysian banking franchise. I'm made to understand that Malaysia will remain a vital part of OCBC's plans for the future. I would thus like to commend OCBC for its efforts in making Malaysia's resources and people an important contributor to the growth and development of the bank's international business. Ladies and gentlemen, the Malaysian economy continued to register robust growth in the first quarter of this year, despite an increasingly challenging external environment. The reported growth of 5.7% for the first quarter was ahead of market estimates, and is indicative that we are on track to achieve the 5 to 6% growth target for the whole of the year 2005. While our economic performance is commendable, I believe that we should not rest on our laurels and become complacent. There is still much to do to achieve our economic goals and our aspirations. For example, we pride ourselves on being a business-friendly government. This government has its work cut out for it in continuing to enhance its public service delivery system. There's so much to be done. There's a lot of problems, but we must continue to. It is important for it has to do with improving national competitiveness and in facilitating an environment for businesses to thrive and to prosper. Many other initiatives also need to be implemented, such as developing new sources of economic growth, enhancing access to quality education, and enhancing integrity and eradicating corruption. I am determined to carry out these initiatives, as the successful implementation of these programs will allow the private sector to sustain its ability to become the long-term engine of economic growth. With balanced development being a key part of the national agenda, it is crucial that businesses and individuals are allowed equal access to the requisite capital needed to achieve growth. In this respect, there is little doubt of the importance of banks, which act as the prime mover of capital and financial resources in any given economy. Therefore, it is in the government's best interest to ensure that domestic banking policies and regulations reflect the need for progressive and for sustainable growth. This is especially important for a developing country like Malaysia, as development of the domestic banking industry is not based purely on profit generation, but is also to complement long-term national economic and social objectives. Going forward, banking industry policies and practices will continue to balance short-term profitability with sustainable and competitive growth for the long term. Many of these policies are outlined in the Financial Market Master Plan, which works to ensure that financial resources are allocated efficiently for the long term. It is expected that through efficient resource allocation, the banking sector will be able to contribute towards economic and national development by supporting commercial, entrepreneurial, and also employment opportunities. I am hopeful that these policies will continue to be adopted by all banks, local and foreign, to ensure sustainable economic growth. It is imperative that banks be integrated into the national development agenda. For example, it is not sufficient if foreign banks are only interested in developing niche customer bases in affluent urban areas, as the high quality of service will not be enjoyed by those living in rural areas. I believe banks should look towards a reciprocal branching policy which commits them to have a rural branch or to provide services to designated rural areas for every urban branch that is operational. At the same time, it is my wish that all banks continue to play a proactive role in supporting the new growth areas that the government has proposed, which included agriculture and agribusiness, small medium enterprises, SMEs, biotechnology, education, and tourism. It is encouraging to note that a number of banks have begun to offer new methods to finance startup businesses in these areas, some with little collateral to offer. In addition, there have also been positive developments among the foreign banks, including the OCBC, which have embarked to assist the fund requirements of SMEs. Moreover, I believe that most banks, both local and foreign, have established Islamic banking windows, which is in line with the government's efforts to promote Malaysia as a leading Islamic financial services center. I've heard your report of the success of your Islamic finance window, banking window. I congratulate you for that success. Apart from that, banks should carefully oversee the products and services that they offer. I distinctly recall media reports suggesting that the recent rise in bankruptcies involving young individuals and couples are mainly due to overexposure to credit cards and housing mortgages. Should this be the case, I would like to urge banks to be more careful and prudent when marketing such products and services to their customers. Let me remind banking institutions that they do not only have an obligation to generate returns for shareholders and to protect the deposits of customers, but they also have a responsibility to society as a whole. In this respect, banking service professionals ought to play a more active role in advising consumers on financial planning concepts and to avoid financial pitfalls such as accumulating too much debt. Simply put, the banking sector cannot afford to ignore the fact that good corporate governance, conduct, and responsibility is good for business, particularly when it results in more educated and enlightened customers that can lead to enhanced profits and stronger balance sheets. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end, let me congratulate OCBC for the completion of its new Malaysian office premises. Menara OCBC certainly brings with it new hopes and aspirations for all of the group's employees, and I wish all of you the highest level of success for the future. On that note, it is my pleasure to officially declare Menara OCBC open. Thank you.
Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Prime Minister of Malaysia, may we kindly request that you remain on stage for the second part of the official grand opening ceremony of Menara OCBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we call upon Dr. Cheong Chung Kong, Tan Sri Dato Nasruddin bin Bahari, Mr. David Connor, and Dato Albert Yeoh, accompany Yang Amat Berhormat as he officiates the grand opening of Menara OCBC.
The Honourable Prime Minister will officiate this second part of the grand opening ceremony by signing on this special digital pad to mark this auspicious occasion.
Ladies and gentlemen, we bring your attention to the middle of the stage. What appears here before you is a 1:75 scale model of Menara OCBC, representing OCBC's bank's ongoing commitment to help individuals and businesses across communities achieve their aspirations by providing innovative financial services that meet their needs.
Perhaps we can invite our guest of honor, the Honourable Prime Minister, and our distinguished OCBC senior management to go a little closer to the main building for a tighter group shot, if you please, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the honored guests remain on stage, it's now our privilege to invite Dr. Cheong Chung Kong, Chairman of OCBC Limited, to present a token of appreciation to Yang Amat Berhormat Dato Sri Abdullah bin Haji Ahmad Badawi for gracing this very auspicious occasion with his presence. The token is a 1:300 wood-crafted miniature replica of Menara OCBC. Another tall and majestic architecture to grace our Kuala Lumpur skyline.
As you can see, the scale model is being turned around so that every single facet of the building can be seen. From banking operations to the premier banking floor, right up to the ATM machines. Thank you once again, Yang Amat Berhormat, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, for officially opening the grand opening of Menara OCBC right here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Tiada mengira
Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tea is now served and we invite you to sit back and also relax, enjoy the refreshments and enjoy the company and to enjoy the short segment of entertainment prepared for you. We're going to give it some time for our guest entertainers to prepare themselves. Meanwhile, please enjoy this piano music by Alvin.
I'd like to say hello and good afternoon to our Honorable Prime Minister and all distinguished guests. I'm so honored and it's such a great pleasure to be invited here to perform before you. And for all of you here today, before that, I'd like to congratulate OCBC Bank on the grand opening of this Menara OCBC. So, and for all of you today, I'd like to sing a love song actually, but then the meaning of the song is all the way and it's also for OCBC Bank, all the way. Thank you. When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you. All the way. Happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you. All the way. Tallest trees, that's how it's got to be. Deeper than the deep blue seas, that's how deep it goes if it's real. When somebody needs you, it's no good unless it needs you. All the way through the good or lean years and for all the in-between years. Come what may.
But if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way. The way. Taller than the tallest trees, that's how it's got to feel. Deeper than the deep blue seas, that's how deep it goes if it's real. When somebody needs you, it's no good unless it needs you all the way. Through the good early years and for all the in-betweens, come what may, who knows where the road will lead us? Only a fool would say. But if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way. All the way. All the way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. What a lovely rendition of that song. Tea continues, ladies and gentlemen. Make yourselves comfortable.
Good evening, everybody.
When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love has ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too. Oh, I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too. Is when I fall in love. When I fall in love. When I fall in love with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. With that evergreen number, When I Fall in Love. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue to enjoy the sumptuous, delicious refreshments served by Shangri-La Hotel. And we have our next guest here.
When I am down and all my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burden be, then I am still and wait here in silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. I will say congratulations to OCBC Bank for this joyous and grand occasion. Congratulations to you. Stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. Stormy seas. Oh, I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be. Thank you.
You Raise Me Up, a very powerful and meaningful number originally sang by George Groband. Ladies and gentlemen, refreshment continues, and next guest artist is just coming up.
When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten even your darkest nights. Whoa, you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'd come running to see you again. Oh, winter, spring, summer, or fall, and all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there. Said you've got a friend. I said you've got a friend. If the sky above you should grow dark